So what time period do we study? Big question. This is one of the main questions that we need to answer in order to do a good impact study. On page 26 of the handbook, I've adapted a 1981 table that I found in a Public Roads magazine when I was a young transportation planner in Atlanta. And Paul Box, who put this together, gave recommendations on what he considered were the term here is critical hour, not necessarily peak hour. You hear a lot about the term peak hour. Most of the time, a peak hour studied here in Florida, if I had to make a guess, most of the time they study the PM peak or the evening rush hour. However, there are exceptions, and it's usually the area, the critical hour is not necessarily the peak hour of the community. Sometimes the critical hour where the development's traffic and the surrounding traffic reach a maximum. Easy enough for an office building, it usually has the same peak hour as the city or community. However, hospitals, factories, primary schools, fast food, they have different peaking hours that are worth studying. In addition, shopping centers have their peak hour of traffic. It's on Saturday. And this means that, for all practical purposes, for improving the transportation system around a new shopping center or mall, you would use regular PM peak hour. But if you are working for a designer for the actual mall or large shopping center, you would like to have an idea of what the Saturday traffic is to better design the accesses to that shopping center. Unfortunately, the Institute of Transportation Engineers Trip Generation Manual, what is called today, is in fact has Saturday traffic, especially, and Christmas traffic for shopping centers. Another factor that needs to be considered is the time in the future which you're planning these improvements. For large developments and major amendments to local comprehensive plans, you're going to be looking 5 to 10 years out and sometimes even more. And I think this might be a good time to mention that with the changes that happened in the growth management laws, the FDOT role in most cases is advisory. Even though it's advisory, we would like to be involved. And the thing for us to know at DOT is that we don't really make the rules. If we are looking at development of regional impact or a large development and the local government says you're going to do 3, 7, and 10, then the local government makes that call. In the same way that the local government will make the call of whether the study area is based on a 5% significance level, as Gina pointed out, or a 3%, or in fact they may just have a simplified, if you have development proposed of this side, it's going to go out 10 miles or 5 miles. So we do work, and we need to work closely with the local governments to make that analysis conform to the local government development regulations. At the bottom you see here access permits, and when you get down to that level, many of the times you're just looking at the impacts when a business opens. So remember that a majority of our driveway access permit applications are for businesses that usually open up within one phase. Not saying they open up in 6 months, but it's in one phase. And many times that traffic is added to existing traffic for analysis purposes. What you see on this slide is a typical day's worth of traffic done by hour. We see highlighted the morning and the evening peaks. Many times we look at the evening peak hour as the most appropriate time to study the impacts of a new development. Under most circumstances in an urbanized area, the percentage of peak to a day is somewhere between 9 and 11, 8 and 12%, and that is just what a typical day might look like. Unfortunately, for those people who have not had traffic engineering study or traffic counting study, K-factor isn't exactly the same thing as a proportion of a typical day. And it is a complex issue that used to take a lot of time to discuss and agree upon until Florida DOT has established what we call a standard K-factor for different kinds of roads and different kinds of areas. This is in your handbook, and so you can see we have area type and we have roadway type. Hopefully this was able to simplify some of the analysis.